Funeral procession on Saturday. Went A-okay.
Wonderful.
Other than that, nothing to report.
What's the deal with the town court? What's going on with that? I seen a letter that we submitted, I guess?
There was a letter I had submitted a while ago, just discussing some issues between the fact that
The town gets,
village wasn't really getting anything. Get a little, parking tickets here and there, the money would come to us since it's a village parking ticket, during the winter primarily. And the issue is because the village doesn't have a court anymore, none of the tickets we were writing, we weren't receiving any of the fines, our share of the fines. Once the court took the surcharges and fines and all that good stuff. We did have a local law that has been, as I found out through Jay, our attorney, totally, debunked. So it is null and void, and everything has to be written as a state traffic citation. And I'm working with the court to see if we can come up with some sort of resolution where they make an excess in the year of any funds that we get parted.
nice.
Shannon and I talked the other night, ready to come up with a number, so, or a percentage. We hadn't discussed that, but he and I spoke about getting together, coming up with something, drafting up some sort of resolution, starting sometime beginning of the year, talking to the town board, presenting it to you, talking to the town board about it, see if we can come up with some sort of agreement. He said there will be some sort of fund exchange coming end of the month,
Really?
beginning of January.
Nice.
Cool.
I think it was for the court officer.
Ah,
Fee was like $1,800, possibly. He wasn't sure. I don't know if that was what they made and we're splitting that for that. I heard 1,800 come out and
it's like, okay.
everything else shut off. I don't know what it
This
was
is the
for.
biggest check we've ever gotten.
Well, I think that's the budget item for the court officer in the town budget.
That might be what it is. There you go.
And I believe the town
Thank you.
board agreed that they would reimburse. They would reimburse, for the cost of the court officer
Right,
on the night that the officer is covering court.
Mhm.
yes.
Was there any
and
discussions
so-
on what the cost of the court officer would be?
Jean and I have been working, we haven't, it kinda got pushed to the side with the year-end stuff.
Right.
But we were working on trying to figure out how much the benefits and the hourly wage work out to, so that we have an hourly wage for the town to reimburse.
Social Security and Medicare would be okay. It's gonna be hard to figure out the retirement.
The retirement is,
Okay.
yeah,
What about like just a flat rate? Every night, the village officer gets, or the village gets so much for the officer being here.
And that would have to be an agreement between the village and the town.
right, it would have to be presented to the town, they've
Yeah,
said
and
that
I'm
they
just
would,
throwing that out there.
yeah, what they've agreed to right now is to reimburse at the hourly rate
At the
for,
cost of the employee.
yeah, so if
Okay.
you want to
Which is more
counter
than what we were getting before, right?
propose, it is,
So,
With
that was the
my-
agreement that they came up with back when I went out and talked to the town board
Yeah.
about it all.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. We
No.
gotta keep these people off the streets now. They're parking there, it ain't snowing, so the theory is if it don't snow, I can park here and it's okay.
Sure.
I realize how your schedule and how your people can work is what you gotta do, but if you can start leaning on them now,
Yep, well, it'll be Fridays and Saturdays then.
because it's gonna be, right now, we've got a good stretch of weather and they're all parking there and it's no big deal to me, but it's not supposed to be.
Correct.
So let's nip it before or, you know, oh, it's gonna snow a little bit, we have to worry about it, and then it snows, we get 3 feet, when they say we're supposed to get a quarter of an inch,
Right.
then we're gonna have a mess.
I'd say we've
So-
been very tolerant about it all, really.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had a month, you know, but, you know, we've gotta,
My lord, we got more than a month, good gracious.
well, we start
Almost 2
November
months.
1st to April 1st, Rose?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
well, they've had all November, so it's time to, you know, I know it's not.
No, but you're right, it does, before it does become an
You know,
issue.
I'd rather, you know, if there's a warning or, you know, something you guys wanna do, run the plate, call them, say, look, you can't do this, you gotta stop now.
Yep.
And then the next time, I guess, you know, so be it.
Alright.
Please and thank you.
It's your guys' call. I'd say you should be more well aware of it, April 1st. I thought we'd asked them not to park there already,
yeah, yeah.
so I would say,
There's people parking on First Street, there's people parking all over the village. I mean, it's just not uptown here in the business district, it's all over town. I mean, and the parking rule, you know, goes from village limit to village limit.
it's been posted and advertised.
You know?
well, if that's the case, then I would say start, I mean, what, it's a $20 ticket? It's not like it's,
Right.
I don't know what it is, but
25,
anyways,
yeah, it's not the end of the world.
nip it in the butt before it becomes an issue in the winter, and then you gotta call the sheriff's over at
Well,
2 o'clock in the morning, that's just.
The idea of it is, we've been more than nice, we've had a whole month of it, nobody's said anything, you know, what's, you know, here we are.
Month and a half into
If
the
you,
no
you
parking.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, logically, you would know, but hey, it's nice out, don't worry about it, you know?
I'll,
And then-
see if I can't find the printout we did last year. So, windshields.
Courtesy notice is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, courtesy notice with
Yeah, I'm
a
agreeable.
cool picture of a
Courtesy
snowplow
notice.
taking out a car.
Pardon?
It's courtesy notice with a picture of a snowplow taking out a car. So courtesy, no
I
courtesy,
thought
you
we
know?
just put a boot on it.
You know, but it's, you know, the state road up there, I'm sure them guys don't wanna have to
Boots
deal with
cost
as much as
money.
I don't wanna deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Alright,
I buried a few.
Not me,
oh, you're full of it too,
not me, wouldn't do such a thing.
never,
Not
Well,
me.
You couldn't even look
Not
up
me.
and talk to us straight in the eyes and said that.
no. Well,
I
if you
never
could-
Snow,
purposely
the lake
buried
was
any
freezing,
one
so it's
car.
gonna be hell come
One.
January.
Just
multiples. If you could let the rest of the officers know that we appreciate everything they're doing.
Yep.
Really proud of
Well, they know, like,
where
when
the
you rock
department
them,
is
you gotta
going.
do it.
Huh?
When you rock them up a little bit, you gotta do it.
But if you could let all of them know that you guys have done a great job at changing the image of the police force and really doing a great job interacting with the community, really fulfilling what the police force is about, and thank you guys very much for going above and beyond.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, sir, well, you have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All I can
Thank
say.
you.
Thank you very much.
Gene,
You are number one on the list up here. What happened?
That's okay. I handed out a sheet this evening with some things on it that I need, as far as motions.
all right, can we do this all in one motion, or do we have to have it be separate, Rose?
As far as the transfer from the savings, I'd like that as separate one, but then the other three can be in one.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to transfer 15,000 from general savings, number 11685, to general checking 698-01037-0.
Yeah, we didn't probably wanna,
Probably shouldn't have said the account when
Oh, oh. I'm just reading what you put.
Well, I know that was for your purpose.
What,
Did I hear a niner in there?
a niner? What is that in regard, just to make regular
Hey,
payment?
the answer to that.
Pay the abstract, okay. So I'll make the motion to transfer 15,000 from general savings,
to general checking.
to general checking, yes, we'll go with that. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, carried and approved. Then you need a motion.
And the next three motions are for covering accounts that were overspent. The debt principal and both general and water are overexpended, so I wanna take it from the interest aspect. then the other is taking money from distribution expense and putting it into the money that has been spent for Simmons or municipal, whoever that was, I forget. Municipal Solution, I
I
believe.
believe it was municipal.
So,
Okay.
I need to cover that also.
Alright, so I'll make the motion to transfer, I guess we would just say from debt interest to debt principal for $372. Motion to transfer from debt interest to debt principal for $1,298, and motion to transfer from distribution expense to rehabilitation loans grants expense, $3,204. All in favor say, or I mean, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, carried and approved.
Okay, before we get into the next item,
Yes.
I looked up, after Ruth was here, the 2014 and 2015 youth budget. They have in the budget themselves $500 for summer youth soccer,
For this year?
for 14 and 15.
Okay.
But the one issue we have is back in September, I gave your youth report, is we don't have the money available currently.
Mm-mm.
You currently have about $164. Nothing's come in yet as far as any reimbursement for,
State?
From the state. The report was submitted to, I sent everyone the
Yeah.
email that said the report was submitted to the county. Stacy did send me another update today that, he is processing, he's starting to process those packets. So whether we'll have it by the end of the month or in January, I'm not sure.
do we know how much?
No, I think she was estimating like maybe 800.
Oh, okay. How much do we still owe her, correct?
We owe her her second half, which is $750,
So that's gonna leave us $50.
plus her social security. The village's share is gonna
So
suck
you
it
still
up.
won't have enough in the youth account to contribute to 500 to soccer, even though it's in the budget, because we went over on gas for the school. So we still would not have enough money in the youth to pay.
And we'll have no money to start up next year. Usually we have a balance that carries over to give us a head start, and we'll
How
have a
much?
couple thousand usually.
Why is it so little? Did we go over that much on?
Well, we lost a
You
quarter of
lost
our
one
income,
municipality.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that stays with-
and we did reduce expenditures, but the gas came in much more than we thought it would.
Well, because this is for the kids, I will take one of my paychecks that I get from the village and I'll cash it, and I'll give $100 to this youth soccer program because it's kids.
I'll give him $100 too.
I'll do the same.
That's for the kids.
Now,
For you.
that will have to be from you. That
Yeah,
can't be-
Yeah, that would-
that's from me.
Anybody that wants to donate can go ahead and put it in there, and then
Yeah, I'll do the same.
It has to be, not,
Can't be
Right,
taken
no,
away
this
from
is
the-
gonna be
right.
out of my.
It's voluntary.
yeah, but not, it can't be run through the village works.
When do they usually get that, Rose?
It depends on when they ask for it. I mean, if they ask anywhere after June 1st, they can ask for those funds. It honestly, it hasn't happened a lot since I've taken over. The last couple of years before I took over.
If we do make the donation, why don't we allocate it for 2016?
Well, this will just be a donation to you.
This would just be, yeah, this
Yeah,
would,
it'd just be a real personally done.
Yeah, it'd just be a
Yes.
personal donation from us to the kids.
when you start on the new budget in January, that'll be the 2016,
Yeah, it'll be
17
used for
budget.
expense.
Then you can put those funds in the regular budget if you choose to.
Right.
Yeah.
And that would be for this coming summer, starting June 1st.
Can we transfer some money out of another account and put it in there?
That's up to the board also. You can take it from contingent and make an account. That's up to you.
I mean, could we take, say 50 out of water, 50 out of sewer?
No, you wouldn't do that.
No.
We gotta continue.
It'd have to be would
Take-
it
take out of
specifically
the
have to
general.
be contingent, or could it just be a general account?
Well, that's what the contingent's for, we're
Okay.
gonna use that.
So we can do it out of contingents. Do we have,
It's up to the board up there. Right now, there was 40,000 budgeted and you transferred 1,000 out already, so it's 39,000 for the rest of the year.
But if we do our personal donation to the kids, then we won't have to worry about it, will we?
Right,
Well, I guess what I'm saying, it's like Gene says, if you guys donate $500 and that money, you know, and that money can be deposited into that account, right, Gene?
Deposit it, given right to the youth.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, right to the soccer program.
that's
why
from
the-
them, that's from us doing it to them, that's
Yeah, that's why.
not, the village is not involved
Okay,
whatsoever.
but if we take $500 out of contingency and put into that, all right, you have that $500 there, that 500 will carry over, then you add Stacy's 800 to it, that gives you 1,300, you're gonna pay her some, but you'll have some there for next year's budget.
I guess it
started, some fire money.
I guess it depends on what the village, are you gonna then approach the other municipalities and ask them for an additional amount?
It'd
Well-
be easier if it was like 250 or something like that to help.
Because I mean, right now you're saying, okay, let's donate from the village 3,200, where Town of Otto and Town of Albion donated 2,700.
Well, the problem being is
So-
their budgets are already set, to ask them for any more above and beyond is too much.
If we're able to take out $250, I think that the rest of our neighbors could do the same. I mean, if the three of us are able to, and if you got Little Valley, right there's $1,000 to go towards it.
I mean, right now, I would just, if you guys wanna do the 100 yourselves, I would do that and then think about the rest later on.
Yeah, put it on the agenda for a future discussion.
for the
Well,
budget.
we're gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be about the budget.
When is our next, check? Do you know what date, do you know?
The village is
March.
paid February, May, August, November, so it'll be February.
February?
Mhm.
Take it online.
I mean, you'll cash your check and then
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah, we'll take care of it, I'll get ahold of Ruth or,
We would be donating directly to
yeah,
her.
we're
I mean,
gonna
when it's-
be,
the village
this
isn't
has
usually
nothing to do
any-
with the village.
Yeah.
Give the trustee fund, you know?
Okay, and so then the only other thing I had was that last question. By meeting early in January, we normally okay the clerk to pay utility bills, but will there be other bills that might come in that need to be paid? I figure you're gonna be meeting, what's the normal day in January?
The normal day is January 11th, and we're talking about meeting January 4th.
So you're meeting like a week ahead of time,
Mhm.
and there might be some bills that come in that normally
Oh, yeah.
Rose and Joy would pay.
When?
It's been brought up, I don't know that a decision has been made.
I,
No, we didn't make a decision.
Yeah, it was just brought up in an email.
oh, it was an email, and then I saw it on the bottom of,
I put it on the agenda, but it was,
Specifics here, Jean.
it was meant to be a discussion item.
So it will be, it will be.
Yeah,
will
I
be
circled it.
available Monday.
Discussion.
Yeah.
So I was asking if we can go ahead and change it to the first Monday.
Yeah, my,
I think
my
I do that.
schedule.
Well, then in that case, you get to run the meeting in January. Okay. So, I mean, if that's the case, in regards to that, then if the meeting stays as is, I mean, I won't be available because I'll be out of town with work.
Okay.
So,
So you wanna leave it the 11th?
everybody else the same in regards to their schedules, it needs to stay the 11th.
Okay.
I won't be there.
You won't be there?
We'll
So-
order down.
Okay, you still have 3, so you can still have it
Yeah.
on the 11th. If somebody else is unable to attend, then we'll have to reschedule.
okay, then scratch that last question.
And did we submit the payment for that? For the debt, is that what it was?
That's due January 15th.
So we're not gonna do that
We
until
can
next
pay
month?
that in January 11th meeting.
Okay. Just
We
make
have
sure,
another bond interest payment that's coming due January 15th, so.
can you make sure that the checks are written out like that Friday before, so I can sign it?
Yeah, Joy usually has the checks done on Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
cause I won't, if you can do that, appreciate it.
Okay.
I'll make a vouchers because we have to take some out of general and some out of water.
Okay,
So. Okay, that's that's all I, was there any questions on the expenditure report or the other report I sent you?
No.
Okay. And that's all I had.
Does
The
anybody have
possibility exists, Dan, that Bo can sign those checks if
Oh, that's right.
he's allowed.
You know, I'm just gonna let you do it, buddy.
So, have Bo do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
So never mind, I don't need to, I don't need to worry.
I'm not holding a meeting though.
Huh?
I'm not holding a meeting though.
You're running the meeting.
I don't know.
Yeah, you are, you're the deputy mayor. With me not here, then it goes to you, so you preside. You're the presiding officer.
We'll help you through.
We'll figure it out. How much tables in
If
the-
I can do it, I think a lot of people can do it. Does anybody have anything for Gene?
No.
Thanks a lot.
Gene?
Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Have a nice
You
Christmas.
guys had a nice one also.
Yes. Don't party too hard on New Year's Eve now.
Stay out of the eggnog.
No, we don't.
Gene, I still don't understand why they can't get you in first.
It's only 8:30.
Which is good. I'd say it is. Well, I didn't know if there, and somebody else had other questions, you know, might come up with finances, and as soon as somebody's gone, it's,
You're
maybe
making
you might
excuses.
not have to fix this too here soon.
You swore in blood 2 meetings ago that we get them out early.
I think 8:30 is pretty good. We should be able
With you, yeah.
Compared to what it used to
me, he says, oh.
be. Okay.
Ah,
The answer is.
thank you. All right, moving on, let's get to John.
Okay, what do you wanna know?
What do you got to report?
New skid steer and the plow is ready to go. We got 140 tons of salt in the shed waiting to go. As we know, we have no snow. So,
Don't worry, January, it'll hit us.
well, they're saying look into February now.
Is that what they're actually predicting?
That's
Is
what
that-
I was checking into tonight before I got here.
Oh, goodness.
That's good.
Been working around the shop, as you know, we've been to Lowe's, got the credit card, got that taken care of. We put our paver on Auctions International, sold for $7,000, so hopefully the check will be coming. We should think by the end of this week. I'm waiting for the guy to call and come get it, so that's out of the shop and be gone. When we receive that funds, I wanna put some of it away so we can either make improvements or build a new skid sled to put our blacktop down with, the rest we can put back in the general, wherever we see to put it. I haven't really gathered prices or got an idea exactly where I'm going with yet, but we're in the process of that.
Did you say the International was sold?
The paver.
Paver, thank you. I don't know where I came up with International. Making up words now.
We've gone on the senior building and stuff. Let's see, where else am I at? I have received one email on, bids and specs for the new plow truck. I'm waiting on a second.
What size are we going with this year?
There has been several questions asked upon me how to improve, and not improve, but, what's the word I wanna say? More efficiency in our plowing. And the way I can see to make ourselves more efficient is go with a bigger truck. So,
What, is it, aren't we already at the point with our streets that the plow size that we have now, doesn't that, it's just one swipe each way and we're good?
Thanks, Gene.
What about then? Okay, so what are we looking at, what do we got right now, 350
We're,
or 3500,
we're running a 5500 Dodge right now.
5500?
What what I'm looking into is a truck the size of a blue truck back to that size, that capacity. Our old blue truck's a 1994, it's a good old truck, but it's gonna come a time of day where we're gonna need one. So, do we keep spending roughly, I think the last truck was $56,000, plus the time we spent getting things put on it to plow. And the plow equipment that's on there now is currently at, this will be the fourth, if we put it back onto this truck, this will be the fifth truck, and the plow equipment is getting more, and it's getting loose, and it's gonna start fatiguing and
So are we gonna keep the truck we have now as far as like the runner? I mean, 'cause we're not gonna run big, something the size of Big Blue all over hell and back, are we?
Does a better job.
Well, the fact of the matter, when I go out and plow at night, you know, eventually somebody goes, I get somebody trained to go plow at night. You've gotta keep the snow back with the truck we got. I can't just run around and put a little here, a little there, because if we get more snow, then the next day I'm beating the shit out of the truck. I'm spending more time in the truck. Our salt shed at the town barns, you can figure, I never like to leave the shop not loaded because it screws up the schedule the way I plow, because then I have to backtrack, and it always seems like it ends up costing me time, so I always make sure the truck's loaded. So you can figure, if you go out at night and do a full tour, it's about 2.5 hours, maybe 3, and you can figure another, at least 40 minutes of that's down the town barns, get the loader out, put some on, go finish up, then go back down and reload. We go to a large size truck, we will end that unnecessary trip to the town barns, and if you do have to go out at night, you can scoot around and you can, I'm not saying neglect, but you don't have to get things tidy, and you got something in the morning that you, if you do get another 6 inches of snow, you can go out and you can take care of business.
Okay, so my point, what I was talking about though is, are we gonna keep this truck like for the guys to go and check the water and they gotta run somewhere that we're not taking that big beast all over?
Yeah, I plan on the truck that we're using currently now, that will sit on.
Okay, so that's not gonna go to auction then,
It's
correct?
not gonna go to auction because I pretty much gotta have that full leaf machine around, and that then if we, you know, the new plow truck with the automatic can probably use the total leaf machine around, but that gets us back into that extra vehicle.
Okay,
Which we seem that some days we do fine with it, and there's other days, there's just not enough. Right now, the truck sits there, the plow going up, and half a load of sand on it, you know? Do I really wanna just bounce up to the clerk's office in this truck? Do I really wanna bounce down the town barns where these guys are out doing other stuff in this truck, you know? What it boils down to is price.
well, how are they as far as efficiency now? I mean, I know Old Blue just sucks up gas, obviously. Nowadays, are they more efficient?
The efficiency, yes.
Because, and then what I'm saying though, and then the vehicle you have now, when we put on all this other equipment, are we better off having a bigger truck because we're getting a better performance, we're not putting so much wear and tear on the engine, so on and so forth?
Well, and I got the first quote I got is from Kenworth, and it just basically showed me the options and stuff on the truck, and got to sound the guy and go through and get more detail than what we're looking for. Then he can give me a better price. He seems to think we can piggyback onto maybe Erie County or Oneida County's bid.
Is it say that we're able to, like, did they say that others can?
We have the
Piggyback?
right to, when we bought this truck, we piggybacked onto somebody up in Albany's bid.
We have the piggyback clause in our procurement policy.
We can piggyback,
I meant
it's the
those-
same way with the meters, we can piggyback onto somebody
Right.
else's bid.
As long as they have that in their thing that says
Yeah.
that they allow piggybacking,
Mm.
because you have to clearly state that, don't you, or no?
I don't know if they have to have it, we can do it because we have it in our procurement.
Because it's just the bid period?
It's just a bid period.
Okay, it's
no
just like
diff-
state bid.
It's no
then.
different buying anything on state bid, county
Okay.
bid, or whatever.
I got
And if the county was into all-wheel drive, we could piggyback off of the county.
Are we gonna get a better price than what the town paid for theirs?
I don't know. I have no idea, 'cause I have no idea what the price is, I'm not even gonna guesstimate.
Do you know off the top of your
I
head?
don't, I'm sorry.
I'm waiting on a bid from Fleet Maintenance on Western Star. Western Star offers bumper to bumper 8 years warranty.
Longevity?
No, no, that means in 8 years, see if you buy. The problem with these newer trucks, there's too much electrical, they're not so much mechanical in this electrical and those electronics things. They're all great and wonderful until they start screwing up. The problem is there's no quick, easy fix. Twice now the truck I plow with, I've gone out, jumped in and hit the key, it will not start, it will not move, it won't do nothing. It won't even let you roll windows up. And I have to have it towed to the dealer, and I have to have it taken care of, the dealer takes care of that. Well, fine and dandy, because the last time I went to the dealer, the windows were down, he went down to the pouring rain, sat outside for 4.5 hours and soaked the inside of the truck, I dragged the truck all out and everything else. What are you gonna do? They sent the tow truck driver, we taped it up the best we could, but we, whatever. if you do end up going with a truck like this and there's an 8-year warranty, you would have the likelihood sense in the 7th year to be rid of this truck. You know.
So when are we gonna have a number on that?
Well, I'm hoping as soon as the guy gets me the quote, we sit down and we tighten up on the quote, we'll come up with 2 of them and see. And he did believe, the guy from Western Star said we should be able to piggyback on Erie County, no problem. There may be some things in the truck that we want or not on the bid, we may have to live without, but, you know. As far as plow equipment, the plow wing I have over there for the blue truck is more than ample to put on the truck. The only thing we have to buy is a plow frame and the wing mount.
And is this coming out of this year's or next year's budget?
If we budgeted for next year.
Okay.
I've been talking with Valley Fab because they're about the only people around here that do the truck equipment stuff. They're pretty much got it sewed up from here to Syracuse, somewhere along the way. The lady, I believe she said she'd be back sometime this month. I said I'd like to see her by the end of this month, if not beginning of next month, and I would probably kind of have a handle on some of what we're looking for a truck, and she can come up with a box. The sander she is quoting me is one that just slides in the chute, and it fastens down the box, and you just dump it in there, you know. Hopper. There's no hopper, it's just the chain. Everything slides in, it lays right at the bottom of the box, and you got your normal, whatever. They do make boxes and all that stuff is in. A lot of pros and cons to it, a lot of money, a lot of upkeep. The town has found with the one truck down there, you can figure every other year you can buy a new set of rollers and bearings because it just, problem is, you can't ever get them washed good enough, and you never can get nothing on them because salt ends up, after it sits for a while, ends up like a blocker, like a buffer. You can oil, you can do whatever, but the corrosion is not worth it. This is something that's pretty easily maintenance and is cheaper in the long run.
Okay.
But that, you know, there we go, it all depends on the price and everything else and what we think we can afford. The guy in the backhoe, I called him today to see where we're at, and yeah, we're coming up on the anniversary, yeah. I will call him weekly because he tends to not.
That's out of this year's budget, correct?
That could be out of next year's budget,
I
depending
thought it
on.
was out of this year's is what we had set for, no?
No, because we didn't actually end up doing it, and he didn't, so I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Well, we have until May.
Well, we gotta figure that, now he's on it, and he's gotta see what John Deere's got to say the first of the year, yada, that. But that's where I'm on that, I've been looking at a few things in the budget, and, looking to see, how we can increase and whatever we're gonna have to come up with for that, for doing, road improvements for next year, looking at a couple different road projects, do have some prices on that. I will have a lady come back into town on a couple other things and get some quotes. I have started work at Kelly Summit. The weather has been extraordinarily decent. Plow equipment's up and done, new plow's built for the skid steer, we've got, everything is caught up and we're kind of been, so to say, so we've been up, we've cut some trees, we've got a roadway to the spring lots now that goes, when you go to the other end, you can drive up and actually, to where you guys walk. I don't want to track tonight, but you can probably get up through there to pick up. I wasn't gonna waste the weather, and now that we're at where more of the springs that actually work, that's why I talked to Mr. Elianello, have him come in and say, this is what we need to do to get these trees cleared, but we're gonna proceed with that until the weather digs into us.
Okay. Well, it's a perfect opportunity, really.
Yeah, the last thing I was told that we could start clearing, I didn't know we had to go up and number trees, we've only took down.
Yeah, well, I talked to Jake here just when he was on the way out, and the only issue we could possibly run into with that is that they say we're not gonna reimburse you for that time until we've spent it already.
Didn't have no intentions of it, because.
That's what I told him.
Because you're paying guys X amount of dollars an hour. You want them standing in the shop all day sweeping and picking up tools.
That money could have just been allocated to help go towards something else, though, that's all.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what
if we
it will
don't
go
ask
towards.
for it, it's still there.
I mean, really, it all worked out perfectly for us, not having the
It's
snow.
just that I'd rather see these guys Number one, I know what it's like because the weather, like today, the weather was not the greatest to be outside doing a whole heck of a lot. They said the rain was gonna come. I had phone calls and stuff to make, we had payroll to do, and we got our sewer reports done, and this, that done, and they did a lot of stuff, just odds and ends in the shop. It was a wet day, tomorrow's supposed to be wet. We got a new beacon for the blue truck, and some blue truck, work that needs to be done in the blue truck. You know, but we got a decent day. We're gonna go outside and we're gonna work, you know. I've been down to the backhoe, got the stumps out, we are, you know, proceeding forward. And I'm not gonna, you know, like I said, shop work is shop work, but we've got, you know, January, February, March to do shop work.
Right.
And then tomorrow, we're gonna spend time here, working on this, so on and so forth. So I said, we might as well move forward, you know, you're paying the guys anyway. Wasn't gonna ask the funding agency for this time, the wages are there, you know, let's do something, let's make it, you know, we can always sweep the shop. Shop always needs sweeping. I did go through the water meters.
Yes.
Okay, what do you guys wanna call inactive?
I would say an inactive account is just somebody that it no longer exists, like the Red Barn, the liquor store. That's an inactive account, or a business that's no longer up. That's inactive. Those are accounts that need to be removed out of the system, because we can always add an account. I don't see what we need the history of those accounts for.
Alright, well, general consensus, all three of us sat down and we went through, everybody went through the book and they went through, we pretty much figured what was inactive. You know,
Okay?
if you wanna call it inactive, I took in all the houses that have been torn down and removed.
Okay?
Okay, that's what I call inactive. There's no, unless somebody builds there someday, we're not, but some of the houses that are on this list are inactive. I guess the question is, this is the feeling between the three guys at the shop. I was talking to Keith Greenleaf through Ferguson Water Projects, and I was talking, you know, when you guys bid these meters and you're buying this, and you're buying that, and, you know, and I said, what do you figure the cut is per meter? And he was just putting in the mystery, and I said between $10 and $15 a meter, unless we get into the bigger group, he says you might be looking at $20 a meter. Now, do we take half of our inactive, do we buy, say there's 15 inactives, do we buy 7 meters, put them on the shelf, keep them? Say if the guy that bought the house up there, he decides, okay, Red Barn Liquors, hey, I can, you know, maybe I can do a little big tackle shop out here, I wanna, you know, I need water. Now, I realize $15 don't sound like a lot, but if he wants to fire this business up, the meter's sitting there on the shelf. Boom. In the same aspect, if we never use those 7 meters or 10 meters, as long as no water runs through them, the battery life is good. Now, when we get into these, you know, say after 10 years, 12, 14 years, some of these batteries start dying on these new meters, okay, we've got 10 to start with. Because they're saying, you know, 10 years is the guarantee, is full warranty, after that's prorated. And, you know, everybody's saying that, you know, the 20th year, you're gonna start buying meters.
I'm just speaking from an accountant standpoint, that we need to have the accounts that are inactive, that aren't up and running, that no longer exist, get them removed, so that with this whole project, that we know exactly what we're talking about as far as how many customers we have, so we can estimate accordingly, because mainly what this is going towards is with the whole big project, as far as if we're able to go, if we get qualified the grant, and if we're to go down that road, what are we truly looking at? I mean, do we really have they're estimating 450 to 530. We know that's high. We know that's high. We know that's not accurate. So are we looking at 380? Are we looking at 420? What is that true accurate number? And that's what I want to get to, is for the purpose as far as what are we looking at if we go forward with this water project, how much is it going to raise water? That's where I'm focused on in regards to that. Not necessarily, I don't care if you guys are able to get an extra 10 or 15 meters on the side for storage, whatever the case, to help if one goes.
Okay, that's where we were all over where we were.
But I just want to know what's truly active and what isn't, because we know Red Barn Liquor isn't active.
No.
You know, that's what I want to know, is how many customers do we truly have when it comes down to the water project, so we know what we're looking at as far as if we go forward with it, how much is it going up? What is it really gonna be the investment from each resident?
Okay,
That's where I'm at.
alright. Understandable.
So if you guys can,
When I have to stop billing a customer
yeah,
in the system, they become inactive. That's how we don't bill them. Their account status, their meter status, their service status is all marked as inactive. So that's probably why there's a large number of inactives on the list
okay,
that Jake's got.
yes,
When we stop billing account, whether it's because the house was torn down or they want the service turned off while they're in Florida for the winter, it's all the same thing. They're all inactive. There's
Okay.
no different setting to set them at.
So how many active,
I would have to review the list. My guess is probably about 425.
okay,
Yes, sir.
That's my guess.
okay,
Is how many bills I send out.
okay. Well, if you would be able to, if you could give an actual number for end of the project, and you guys and I was talking with Jake, that was one.
Yeah, I've given him a couple different lists, but again, those inactives that he's seeing, could be inactive because they want it turned off until they put a tenant in there, or they're gone for the winter,
Right,
or there just plain isn't a building there anymore.
right,
So, I will try and mark those a little better for him to give
if you
him
could,
some more
just so as
details.
far as when we're presenting it to the public, that they know exactly, here's what the commitment's gonna
Right.
be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That,
And I
that's
mean,
all.
the problem is there's a lot of accounts that are off because, well, I want it turned off for now.
Does it go to the-
You know, I just bought the property, I'm gonna work on it for a while, I don't know when I'm gonna turn the water back on. Is it gonna be a year, is it gonna be a
Well,
I think
that-
there needs to be a letter, drawn up for anybody that's canceled their service in the past 6 months. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would say if the
You
building's still up and
contact
erect, I would say, I mean, as long as somebody's living in it.
Well, here's the good case scenario. The water book that I read. There's a house over on Franklin Street. The lady is there maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm,
The meter hasn't moved in 6 years. She's there, you know, she might draw a glass of water, maybe she waters the plant, maybe she goes to the bathroom and doesn't move.
mm-hmm,
I've had enormous notes in my water book, this meter's broke. No, the meter's not broke, she's not there to use the water, but she still wants the water on, so she walks in the door, she can,
mm-hmm.
do you wanna say that's inactive, because she's actually.
No,
not
that's
using-
active.
That's active,
That's active,
Totally active, yeah.
I mean, she's still getting the minimum
Still
bill,
living there.
even if it's
so it's not moving, so you could,
no, what I mean as far as inactive is just something that no longer exists. Such as a business entity, or such as
okay.
a house that's no longer there. Why count that as an inactive when it'll never come back unless somebody builds there, and then when they do, we have a new building.
We've been looking all over for the keys that are in this package.
Geez, we were selling.
So yeah, that's all. And it's just for, again, for the water project, to have a better understanding of that,
Well, we'll tidy up some more.
okay? Anything else?
Approval to buy a new valve box locator. I think I have $800 in the budget, I think what he says.
It's close, we have like 6 or 7, so.
So you have $800 in the budget for that, and it's how much?
I think he said like 750.
757, somewhere along the line, let me double check before, cause you say one thing and then look later and find another, this thing is right now. I'll look over it twice.
bring it to the board if, it exceeds.
Right here,
what's-
$1,300. I found it.
Thought it was 750.
No, that's what I figured, I think he told me $750, but there's been allocated $1,300.
And how much do you have allocated for it? You said 800?
I have allocated 1,300,
Oh, and it's costing how much?
$750.
Oh. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, carried and approved.
Bo, you made the second?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
it's easy peasy. Good job on that.
I believe, that's about it.
That, material you got coming for the seniors building,
Yes, sir.
that will get billed when it comes in, correct?
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion for you to be able to pay that when it's billed, so that Gene can sign a check, so we don't run into any late fees on that card?
Rose, have you seen anything on the card yet?
I have the card and the documentation that came with the card. It's in the safe.
Okay.
I don't know who's supposed to have ownership of the card.
The card can stay in the safe. There's only one
Okay.
person can sign for that card. That's another thing, I'm glad you brought that up. There's only one person can sign for that card. Do you want anybody else's name on that card?
I
As far
believe
as
it has,
who-
John, it has your name on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
all
then we
we
should
need, really.
keep it, yeah.
Well, all right. I take it you want to keep the card.
Absolutely.
All right.
We
I
had
don't
10%
know,
off
I don't know if we want to add another name to it.
I think it's 5.
and 6 months in.
Do you wanna add the guys to it? Do you foresee that we'll buy from Lowe's more?
That's not a bad idea, we gotta just do that.
Well, it's not a bad idea to have, because something like this come up, I can go get stuff, you know, there's other stuff there, you know, possibly down the road that we can use.
So, do you want the guys to have access as well if they need to, you need to send them to go, or is it just you to have the access to
Well,
go?
when I set it up, I just set it up for myself, just because to simplify it, they said we can add anybody at any time. That is, you know.
Do you foresee a reason why you wouldn't be able to go and get this stuff if we need it?
What if he's on vacation or
What if-
sick or something?
What if I did decide someday to take a real vacation?
Good point.
Well,
then we
when
ought
that point comes,
well, no, then we ought to
we might
add all
add
3.
somebody.
I as well.
All right, and is there anything in there on payment scheduling, Rose? Did you look it over at all?
I looked it over very briefly. I didn't see a lot about payment.
Because being with it, being this contractor, I think we can set up when we want our payments to come, so, because I asked this, well, the first question I asked, because I don't wanna have to
Right.
jump through hoops to get this thing paid.
Right.
But if you would,
I
review
mean,
that.
you
and
can
we
treat it like we do the utility payments, and when that bill comes, regardless of when it comes during the month,
take
we write out the
precedence.
check, we make up the voucher, and,
Well,
and
that's-
it's treated like an early bill like the utilities and others, if you
Well,
want.
that's why I brought it up, I don't wanna see us get,
You don't wanna pay extra
get a
interest.
late payment or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rose will stay on top of it, I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Alright, so what, do we have to have a motion for the other guys to be added on it?
You would want a motion telling who you want on the account,
I'll make the motion.
and I would
that
want a
all-
motion authorizing payment between meetings if the bill comes in and,
Upon receipt.
Alright, so I'll make the motion that all 3 of our DPW employees are on the Lowe's card to be able to make a purchase at Lowe's, and that whenever the Lowe's bill comes in, or any credit card that we get going forward, when it comes in, that we can go ahead and pay it. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye. Aye. It's unanimous, carried and approved. Simple.
Do we proceed to look into getting a MasterCard for the village, or a Visa?
You could always get a prepaid card and just put money on it every time, it costs $1.
Well,
Could get
Do you
points.
see a need for it, John?
sometimes, yes. I mean, there's just times, I mean, we've run into it past years repairing other vehicles and stuff. Blue truck mainly, that there's only one outfit that makes parts for that front end, and we don't use them regular, so then we have to go through and get a credit check, we gotta have this, we gotta have that. Or if we had a card, it's done. There's, you know, I do know other superintendents that do have a village card for such emergencies.
That's
No.
something that we can discuss more in January.
Yes, I would, you know,
I would ask Jean's input.
Well, we know where Gene stands, but this is something that
It
I
would be
think that we
nice
need
if
to move forward with.
you'd want him to verbalize.
Yes,
Oh, it's good, we all should be involved, I mean, it's.
absolutely. So we can pick that up in January.
Well, that's good, so you put on the docket, and I'd also.
Will you
look
put
in-
that on the agenda for?
And I'd also look into putting the card machine out in our front office, too.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, that we do definitely need to look into at the next meeting, is getting a credit card machine so that we can take payments for,
Anything.
via credit card. And then it just it goes on to whoever, if they wanna use their debit or credit card. just
I
pay-
have previous information, cause I looked into it a year and a half ago and it was turned down. So I will get the packet back out and make sure nothing's changed.
Please.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's-
Why was it turned down, Rose, do you know?
The previous board didn't want me to do it.
Clerks are gonna look
Too
into
advanced.
that.
Yeah, the clerks were gonna talk to possibly having a representative come to
GovPay and something biz,
Oh, pay.gov?
pay.gov.
GovPay.
GovPay?
Yeah.
Pay.
Yeah, those are both companies that offer that service to municipalities. There's no cost to the municipality. There's an extra surcharge or fee added to the individual's credit
Like a
card.
$3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, if it's Visa,
Yeah.
whatever Visa charges, Discover, whatever they charge,
It goes onto the,
The person pays it.
purchaser pays it.
yes.
Last time I was in court, everybody was paying with a credit card,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
everybody's in there,
Will you get that out so that, that's something that we definitely need to get going. I would like to see, maybe that might also help with our water bills and whatever delinquencies.
It will.
So I think that's something that,
Every quarter I have people asking to pay with credit cards.
if we can get that done, up and running before the next quarter, that would be huge, I think.
Before March 1st.
And it's a service that we're providing to residents as well, so I think that's good.
One other thing I got.
Yeah?
I'm sorry.
I think you're fine. I'm just-
Sever Sticks new pump should be ready to fire maybe tomorrow. I don't know, it won't happen tomorrow because I haven't got a contact back from the guy.
Okay,
We're gonna do it, we gotta do it after hours, we've gotta do it when school's not open, we've gotta do it when I'm waiting to hear back, they wanna try to get 1,500 gallons a minute out of our system.
okay.
The guy's gonna see if they'll settle for 1,000. If they'll settle for 1,000, I think at 9 o'clock at night we'll be all set. I'm gonna shut everything off coming in, let them pull the water out of the reservoir. When they're all said and done with their test, we'll go back out, we'll open up the water, let it start coming back into town, and hopefully this is gonna make dirty water. There's no two ways about it, I know it's gonna make dirty water, because they're gonna pull on that system, they're gonna pull on it hard. We have no choice in this is something that's, we can't tell them, no, you can't do it, that's one thing we can't do, but they're working.
Are they
with-
doing it tomorrow?
No,
When?
it'll probably be Wednesday.
Can we post a notice to local
Well,
areas so people know?
Well, the thing of it is, I don't have an exact date, and I didn't hear back from the guy today. At 4 o'clock, I didn't hear no more. I give him my cell, so if it was after hours, but he can call me back, I will call him first thing in the morning. If it does, the best thing to do, I guess, is we can put it up on Facebook, and that's the best.
I could put it on Facebook. I can give you guys postings if you want to put them around the
You know,
business district
that's a
and
good
Brooks and the
you know,
post office.
it could like an exact
Dollar
date,
General.
but, but the electrician was there today. Don't know if he finished up. If there's a glitch, it may be next week, so I didn't wanna get everybody all, but that's why I wanna do it, the guys will have to come in, and if, hopefully everything will go off and not a hinge. But if it's only 1,000 gallons a minute, I'll back it up to 9. If they're looking to try to get the full 1,500, then we're gonna probably have to go, I still might go at 9 because it's gonna rile the system, but most people are done with using water too much, then I got that much more time to get the springs pushing water back into town, and hopefully any areas of dirty water will be someplace we can get out quick.
Okay.
And sometimes people may have to live with a little dirty water for a day or two, sometimes it's just better to leave it alone, because if I go over here and open up a hydrant, and I pull a slug from over here and I end up chasing it all over town,
Well, we trust you, we trust your judgment to handle how you see fit.
we'll see what happens. And hopefully they don't bust nothing, break nothing.
All right, do you have anything else?
Nothing you can think of.
Okay, one thing, in regards to the designation of water operator responsible in charge, I did get in contact with, or Rose got in contact with civil service, and there is no issue, with probationary period, because it has no effect on the pay. So we can go ahead and designate Tom as the water operator in responsible charge with no issues. Whether it's probation or anything, the only main thing is it just couldn't have any effect on the pay. Is that correct? Did I recite that properly?
I believe so.
She said I had no concern as long as it didn't affect the
Right,
pay.
as long as the pay didn't change.
So I am making the motion that Tom Patterson be our water operator in responsible charge. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Right.
It's 3-2, it's carried and passed. Alright, youth council, anybody have anything for that?
No.
And planning and zoning, we heard from them. No events coming up, correct? We've already, is that pretty much settled everything with Santa was the last one that came? Nothing with insurance, Rose?
No, I believe that's a June renewal, so, you'll wanna start talking to, Gray Insurance in another couple months here to
Okay.
see what the renewal looks like.
Senior building, we're already talking about that. Anything going on with the ambulance? Anything, everything all kosher there? Alright, library?
No.
Okay. Nothing, Jay, he'll have to report next month. Clerk? Ms. Clerk, what do you have for us?
Okay, I have. I gave everyone a copy of the register report showing the deposits made into general water and sewer in November.
Yeah?
And we received information from Cat County that, emergency services, will be providing, you can go in and get an ID card, through them. So DPW workers, clerks, code enforcement, people that might be going into homes. You can go and get those cards through emergency services. It is a $5 charge per card, and we would receive an invoice for payment. I have the form, so if the board would like us to start doing that, let me know what positions you'd like the cards done up. We can start having ID cards made for officials. Let's see. The
Everyone's
other,
all about ID.
Well, sadly true, there's a lot of unfamiliar faces.
No, that's a good idea.
I did have a lady, not this past time, but 2 readings ago, I had a hard time getting her to let me in her house, 'cause she didn't know who I was. I mean, yeah, I got a fluorescent shirt on, what does that mean? I wasn't driving the village.
You know what,
I
it's a good point.
was walking the streets.
It's a good point.
This is
True. It's said it's $5.
$5 a card.
So,
It beats Linstar's $60 setup fee.
so,
Print your
I mean, we're
cards
talking
and
15
put
bucks.
it on a card.
If it's just DPW, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, that's fine.
do we need to do anybody else?
Code enforcement, dog
dog
control.
Definitely.
Water meter readers if it's not public works.
Which it is DPW.
So just Gary with me going, correct?
Gary and our, Mary,
Mary Dankert.
Dankert. Clerk wouldn't need one, would you?
No, sometimes it's nice if I went to conference, but it's not something that I would use on a regular basis.
So I would say that we go ahead with that. I think it's great. And our officers are in uniform, so that's obviously, that shows that.
Give him a badge.
So I'll make the motion that we allow the positions, our DPW, CEO, dog, warden, any other positions you can think of?
I can't
Alright,
think of any.
to get the ID card.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye. Aye. It's unanimous, carried and approved. Big John, you're gonna have an ID card.
We need to do state flag too.
I have a water account. The resident apparently moved out last March. The ex-wife stayed there longer. Well, it says, I'm writing to request forgiveness of payment for the billing cycle. I believe he's looking for forgiveness of the September one. And at any time after that billing cycle for the property at, it's a North Main Street address. He moved from Cattaraugus on March. He enclosed a copy